Yeah, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, I'm coming over crystal clear. Uh, we got a couple of grievances we got to address because this is the reason why I really have to call people out, and even sometimes your so-called friends who be like, "Oh, you're talking about women again." Fuck you. And I really like to say that and put that out there because the same motherfuckers who complain about me talking about women are the same motherfuckers that are called me, not naming names, sleeping on couches. Notice the last time I even had a show, I talked about the ridiculousness that's out there in the dating world today. Fuck a woman. I've told a lot of men, get your shit together. But we don't find those shows, do we? Notice nobody can find my show when I tell men, get your shit together. Nobody finds my show when I had to talk a man from committing suicide for 2.5 hours. Nobody can bring that up. But if I talk about a bitch, everybody and their fucking mother got a thing to say about it. Never seen a female run me. Never seen it. I'd rather lead or leave. I'm the motherfucker who kick people out. I'm one of the first motherfuckers in this space to talk about black men's fucking mental health. You don't hear none of that shit. I wrote the Gray Faulkner Initiative for Young Black Boys. But yet, you don't hear that. When you tell black men, hey, we got to get our shit together, I don't know. I don't know. You make one critique about a black woman, here comes the simp parade. Here comes the goddamn simp parade. And I bet you the same motherfuckers who got something to say about my channel don't even leave a like. You don't donate. Fuck's wrong with you? You're too scared to come on here and debunk what I say. But yet, we want to still be able to date bottom of the barrel women. Nobody says anything to a black man who's got to deal with child support and child custody. Oh, you could fight through it. They don't care about that anguish because you don't matter. The type of fools who will tell their sons to go out there and get married. Oh, she a good woman. You should get. No, she's not a good woman. I remember one of my homeboys told me about one of my exes. Oh, she a good? No, she isn't. There's a reason why Charles didn't get married. Not because he's not because he's incapable. See, the difference between me and a lot of people, I don't believe in being stuck. I don't believe in being stuck. I'm not a might as well type nigga. I don't wallow in obsolescence when it comes to anything I do. I don't have to start over. Raising kids, I'm done. Once I get my 100% disability service connection, I'm retired. What can you really say? Why if marriage is for raising kids and I'm done raising kids, why do it? Especially when I pointed out last show, majority of these women out there ain't shit. But I'm supposed to deal with all these goofballs. No. I tell people, look, If it's too hard out there and it's too annoying, leave it the fuck alone. I'm the first person to tell you this shit is goofy. That shit is goofy. The dating market today is goofy as fuck. If a man tells his son to get out there and don't warn him on how goofy this shit is, you're doing your son a disservice. You really hate him. And the fact of the matter, we're not admitting this shit tells me what I already need to know. Tells me what we already need to know. I don't look at my masculinity through the eyes of a female. Fuck no. Because if you ask them what a real man is, they'll pick a goddamn drug dealer. They'll pick a goddamn drug dealer. They'll pick the sorriest motherfucker they can find. And as long as he's able to work to the fucking skin of his bones, you don't care. You can't even run your own goddamn household. And I'm supposed to be bitter. Fuck, I gotta be bitter about. I date better looking bitches. I ain't gotta be bitter about shit. And hell, let's take females out the equation for a minute, okay? What have you done that equal me? And sometimes the biggest complainers are the people closest to you. Tell me where I'm wrong. I don't have to beg a chick. Can I see my kid? I didn't have to go in and out of court. I don't give a woman money because she asked me. I take command of my goddamn situation. What about you? But when I talk about some stuff that was on my mind, just like anybody else on God's green earth who gets to vent, when I vent, it's something that, oh, it can't happen. Fuck no, can't do that. And I see why young men are not dating like they used to. I see why they don't want to play the game anymore. Because they're tired of listening to a bunch of old fucking simps. You wonder why some of your sons, your nephews, and little cousins don't look up to you. Look how the fuck you run your life. Look how you run your life. Can't make a decision without a fucking female. You can't fucking pay bills. There's not one damn thing you've accomplished in your life that you can actually write a fucking book about. You haven't lived on your own. You haven't taught your kids any goddamn thing. You're a shell of a fucking man, but you got the unmitigated gall to complain about a man that's literally 15 times better than you on a bad day. Here's the crazy part. I don't knock marriage. If you want to get married, get married. I'm the nigga that's telling you it's a bad hustle. As the current state of laws are, they're bad hustles. I'm sorry. I've seen it. I've seen it with my dad. I've seen it with friends. I've seen it with other people. Why should men keep trying to take this bad fucking hustle and then be proud of being fucking depleted? You wonder why you die earlier. Hell, let's just talk the real shit. Some of you out there got a fucking death wish anyway. I don't need to compare my life to anyone else's. I can be grandioso and good with mine. Here's the craziest part about this, right? Instead of criticizing, oh, if I'm talking about women, number one, judge the type of women you have. Let's be very serious about some things. There's a lot of men out there who got women, and the only reason you got her because nobody else picked her. If she had options, nobody else will pick her. It's one thing if you have a quality woman, I get it. But it's another thing if you have a woman nobody else will lay eyes on. Ain't good for shit. But once again, we're going to omit women from the conversation again for a second. If you can't make a decision in your damn house, and all it's going to be is another argument being dictated against you, then why are you in that house? Why are you in that house? If you're getting nagged half to death, why are you there? If you're not respected, why are you there? A lot of brothers don't want to admit that they live in a goddamn house of misery. And this sure as hell love company. Because let's get some fucking shit out, some grievances. If I'm telling a person, look, I had to cut 3 or 4 women off because of ideological reasons. Don't I'm never gonna take a woman who's gonna try to be a feminist and try to say mansplaining. All you bitches who want to be feminists, I'm gonna tell you this real quick and real sudden. The only reason you can be a feminist is because of men like me, men who defend the line, men who defend the herd. That's the only reason you can become a feminist. You don't fight for shit. What guns did you pick up? What battle did you defend? You don't do shit. Nobody's worried about your so-called a woman in charge because everybody knows the secret. You leave a woman in charge is bound to get fucked up. Even women hate women in charge. And that's the God honest truth. Women don't like women. Hell, mothers don't even like their own goddamn daughters living with them. But call me a liar if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. When I talk about these subjects, I'm being very candid about real life. The cruel part about the real life scenario is that if I was married for 12, 20 years, I can't say shit about the dating world. If you've been married for X amount of years with the same woman, you're not in the dating world. You can't talk about it. I can't talk about having a preschooler. My son's 18. I'm so far removed. So when people try to give you advice, look, your advice is stagnant at best. What I'm really telling a lot of dudes, look, get in the gym, get your passports. If you find a wife overseas, you find a wife overseas. Is that the answer, the end all be all? Yes and no. To thy own self be true. It's no different than when you catch a lot of folks, white boy glazing. Oh, I'm gonna go get me a white man. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. You think a black man is really afraid of you getting a white man? Let me let me break this out. We don't care. You think we're mad because Serena Williams is married to a white boy? No. Number one, Serena Williams looked like me shaved in the face. Two, she was color struck for the longest goddamn time. So what are we worried about? She been passed around all of fucking Hollywood anyway. She got her fill. Those black women can't date interracially. So we don't care. And if they could, we still don't care. That's not our plight. That's not our wish. Now, back to the drawing board. When we look at the things that we need as black people, especially black men, who gives a fuck about dating when you're not going to be able to afford food? Who gives a fuck about dating when you're not going to be able to goddamn afford to live in a house? You think you think this is about some fucking raggedy bitch or some pussy? You think this is about some raggedy ass nigga? Really? Really? Some of you motherfuckers think so low of me and even lower of yourself. Some of you do. Some of you do. If you wonder why your sons can't get a fucking job in today's world, I'm gonna just tell you. Don't blame Trump. Don't blame nobody. Blame all your goddamn sisters who was hogging up the goddamn pie for the last 40 fucking years. You got 80% of the children, but yet your sons can't read on grade level. And you think motherfuckers are worried about some coochie? But you won't give the sons to their fathers. You won't do that. You won't do that. Every fucking statistic you read about single motherhood is wrong, deplorable, disgusting, even. But yet, we'll always throw daddy under the bus. Just like I told Shorty the other day, black men are the best fathers on earth. As a matter of fact, they raise better kids than two-parent households. Oh, I want to see the stat. You believe every negative stat about a black man, but when there's positive ones, we gotta go. We gotta get a referendum. It's fucking disgusting. You think somebody worried about some goddamn loose ass booty? You could go to World War III right the fuck now if somebody makes the wrong fucking move. The wrong fucking move. You will literally have a fucking draft. I hope all you men and you women, if you keep fucking wishing bad shit, I hope you're ready to give up your sons, especially your sons, to the fucking war machine. I hope you do. Now you think it's about some damn cooch. I don't give a fuck who you sleep with because they're gonna sleep with them anyway. You literally said nothing for 4 years, starting another war. Two, you said nothing about fucking immigrants getting all these goddamn benefits that you couldn't even get. Black women, if it wasn't Michelle Obama or Condoleezza Rice running as a fucking candidate for the presidency, you should have been embarrassed. If you had a fucking incompetent AKA who kept saying the same rhetorical shit over and over and over, when you got fucking Condoleezza Rice and Michelle Obama sitting in the cut, you should have been embarrassed. But she's so qualified. Shorty was only known for sucking dick. That's all the fuck she was known for. Big Dick Willie Brown was slaying her ass. Stop it. The same motherfucker you thought was going to be a president laughed at people and single mothers who kids couldn't go to fucking school because they had seizures and sickle cell. And didn't even apologize for having a brother on death row when the fucking Supreme Court of California had to force her to open up those goddamn charts. That's who you think should have been president? Notice the same motherfucking black men that Obama didn't want to fucking, that Obama didn't even want to fucking pardon. The so-called racist president did. Wow. 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 That so-called racist president stopped Amazon for letting 1 million motherfuckers out of work. And I don't think Trump everything Trump is doing was okie dokie. But you're gonna sit here and tell me this chick is qualified when everything she did, include and this is the words of her own goddamn party, was incompetent. Every time she had a chance to be presidential, she screwed up. But nobody wants to say anything about Condoleezza Rice. When Condoleezza, that black woman, spoke, the world listened. Oh, I'm sorry. She's not a black woman if she has an R a front of or behind her name. That's how we work, right, black community? You stop being black if you're not being a colloquial token. Right? If you're a run-of-the-mill black person, you A-okay. But if you have a difference in thought and intellect, you're no longer really authentically black, right? I get it. You got to be one of those niggas who look like, to be respected, you got to be one of those niggas who don't look like they date white women. So if you're not going to take all the fucking drama, dysfunctionality, and all that shit that you normally get in the black community, you must date white women. That's how you put yourselves down on the list, not me. And you wonder why I keep saying bad bitches don't deserve good black men. You date a bunch of drug dealers, had babies by them, and so hard, so well, we're supposed to reward you, dumbass. We're supposed to reward you by giving you a good man. That good man who worked hard to fucking build a name for himself. That good man who worked hard, not wasting his seed in every crevice that he can find. He's supposed to waste it when you couldn't even when you can't even honor him with a fresh family, start out the gate. The same guy you wouldn't give no thoughts or no play to when he was in high school, trying to make it out the hood. The only time he's important is when you wasted all your good years, when you had your quote unquote fun. Your quote unquote fun. Now you're for your mediocrity. It's no different than if a dude goes to jail and he has to pay a penance and he's got to start beneath the bottom because you fucked your record up. The same way I would look at that young man is the same way I would look at a chick. Well, I was young when I had a baby. Well, guess what? Not every chick your age had babies. And then you decide to have that baby by a non working felon. You decide to have your baby by a social loser. And then you wonder why we're breeding nothing but destruction in our community. You wonder why there's no leadership in our community because you've forsaken it. You wonder why you look at your men as weak. Because every time you have a man that's capable to lead, you don't care about him. You want him out the way. You don't want to be held accountable. Accountability is what grow nations. Oh, you talk like you so perfect and above high and mighty, Charles. No, the fuck I do not. I fucked up enough and learned from it. That's the difference between me and you. Greatness personified is not without fault. There are sometimes black men, we're going to have to just say it. There's some people that are just not our fucking equal. And by the way, I remember talking to a friend of mine, and she says, do you believe in equality? Not when it comes to people. You should have equal rights, but not when it comes to people, because guess what? Everywhere around you, we've always said equality is a damn lie. You have to compete. If you're not competitive, what good are you? What real good are you? Nobody wants to answer that. Survival of the fittest is one of the oldest things in the universe. And if you're not trying to survive in this universe, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be obsolete. This is the reason why your community is stagnant. You're not competitive with anybody. What infrastructure are you trying to build? What lessons and what tools of the trade are you bestowing to your children? You can't wait till they're so old. Are there some lessons you can teach when they get older? Yes. But what fundamental skills have you put in their brain? Nobody wants to talk about that. The training for young black men is abysmal. Straight up abysmal. Straight up abysmal. One thing about the black community, we're going to tell the truth. As soon as the boy's what, 13, 12, he's off doing his own thing. He's off doing his own damn thing. I should not be able to go on LinkedIn and see a whole fucking rack of gang members toting fucking weapons on LinkedIn. None of those kids are probably above the 10th grade if they even made it that far. We talk so much shit about Black History Month. What the fuck have you done in the last 20, 30, 40 years? Brag about a fucking president and vice president that didn't do shit. It was a video where somebody posted where you had a bunch of black youth toting AK-47s, AR-15s, Glocks. I know what people are going to say, but Charles, aren't you pro Second Amendment? Yes. Pro common goddamn sense and respect of a weapon. Yes. But we're going to talk another thing, right? How many of those kids came from two-parent households? You're the only race of women that won't talk to a man because he's in law enforcement. I always thought that was hilarious. I always thought that shit was hilarious. You don't even want men with careers. And that's been proven time and time again. This is the reason why I think the community itself is a joke. Well, I don't see that. That's not in my rear. You goddamn right it's in your rear view. You know it is. You know it is. This is your community. Stop acting brand fucking new. Majority of your daughters do not want a good man. Majority of your daughters want a goddamn scammer or a drug dealer. And you know it. Majority of your good sons want to be that. I want to be a content creator like Casanet. I like Casanet, but guess what? Casa Simp. At some point, you get that little pretty little thing on your arm. You thought she really loved you, didn't she? None of you motherfuckers will actually teach your sons once he becomes successful and get money. You're probably never gonna find true love. You're probably never gonna find true love. If you didn't find them before you got there, you're probably not gonna get it. You're probably not gonna get it. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to school boys on what women really think about you. Nobody wants to talk about how you should really start to save your silver. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about certain shit in this. All the only thing we really make in the black community is a bunch of hoes and marks. We have been very successful in that in the past couple of decades. Hoes and marks. You can't tell me that this dude wasn't designed to be a mark. A lot of you dudes have been taught to be hoes and marks. When I tell brothers about stop the idol worship, guess what? I'm looked at as a crazy man. I would tell my own son, don't worship no fucking pussy over your own goddamn life and safe being. If I had a daughter, I would say, what are you worried about that nigga for? If that nigga ain't trying to fucking be successful with you, the fuck you doing? The first thing you ought to do as a black parent is teach a kid to love themselves first. Teach your kids to love themselves first. That way they won't be so wayward, so confused out there, and so wayward. For what? Why be wayward? Why be wayward? The confidence of a black child is at an all-time low. If I was in charge of the black community, you should not have a goddamn a baby shower for unwed mothers and fathers. I wasn't married. I didn't want a baby shower. I said no. I just got up all the shit he needed. The fuck I need a baby shower for? I'm not gonna see you niggas when I'm raising this kid. That's why I think the baby shower thing. Oh, can I be the godparent? No, because when the child really needs some shit, you're not gonna do shit for him. Excuse me. You don't reward bad behavior. You just don't. You don't reward bad behavior. You don't reward bad behavior. That's the cardinal sin of the black community. You reward bad behavior, and then you wonder why. You wonder why. You play with raising children and your reproductive system like a game of Monopoly. But when I talk about that, I'm wrong. Excuse me. We don't want to talk about certain things, do we? It's funny when we really think about this shit as people. You don't have any black business, black banks you can rely on. I mean, what the hell? What's up, AB? What's up, Namer? What's up, Chance? LAPD SWAT. Think about it. I could literally talk right now and say, why is your son sitting around and he's not joining the military, getting some trades under his belt, getting some world experience under his belt, becoming a more competitive young man, becoming more worldly, Why isn't he? Why is he stagnant there? Why is he sitting his ass right there collecting dust? And now you want to join when you're damn near 30? I'm wrong for mentioning that. I get it. Why are so many of our sons sitting at home with nothing to do? Why aren't we putting them in trades at the local community college? Why aren't we putting them in the military? Why are we not getting them to AP classes? Why aren't your daughters being taught how to be wives? How to take care of home themselves? Hell, I think it's very shameful when you have young ladies out there who don't know how to take care of themselves during their menstrual cycle. And let's be fair and let's be honest. That's not a man's thing to teach. That is strictly a female guided tool. I think this summer I should have a Great American Smokeout in Baltimore, either at the Cigar Lounge or at the Harbor downtown. Everybody bring a bottle, bring some food, some cups. I'll bring the speaker and the music. You bring your little lawn chairs, the little fold out chairs downtown, and we rock out real good to some smooth melodies. The Great Baltimore Smokeout coming real soon. Hell, I might as well do it in June when it's real nice weather. Like, let's take a vote. Who would be interested in doing the Great Baltimore Smokeout in June? Excuse me. There's a lot of young men out there who aren't cleaning themselves, especially in the anal region, because they were taught if they teeth. I've actually heard it. Well, I don't clean myself that thorough because I thought it'd be gay. I just have questions. What type of legacy are we leaving our children? Are we being losers? Are we being winners? Are we being potential leaders? No, no. Yeah, I've heard it where they've been teased so much that they've been taught that if you clean yourself real well in the anal area, excuse me, it's considered gay. I swear I wish I could lie to you. I'd rather lie for you than to you. We are a mixed up group of people, man. When you have a grievance that needs to be filed, you're supposed to take that shit seriously. You're supposed to look at people. I like your growth. There's sometimes, as a parent, you gotta be kind of an asshole. Excuse me. You gotta be kind of an asshole, a dictator, a benevolent dictator. No, nobody wants to say that. In the black community, we give our kids too much freedom in the wrong direction. Like, no, you're gonna take these fucking benefits. Sorry, I don't want to. Shut the fuck up, because there's a lot of shit I didn't want to do, but it has to be done. Because one day you're gonna thank me. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but one day when you're sitting there, you have a fucking career, you can afford a house, you have free health care for the rest of your goddamn life, you'll be thanking me. But that's what leadership looks like. Leadership looks like, hey, I'm going to take you to worlds unknown, lands unseen. You know, I'm going to say this to a lot of content creators out there. I'm going to say this to a lot of content creators out there, especially the feminist minded ones. Shut the fuck up. Because you're not doing anybody anything great. Because the more you talk about the patriarchy, the more you realize you love the patriarchy. You couldn't survive without the patriarchy. If there wasn't mean, fucking hardcore men out there conquering lands in your goddamn name, what could you do about it? Set your sassy or masculine asses up. I've never seen such level of niggatry in my life. And here's the craziness about it, right? Most men let a lot of women live with a lot of smart, stark, snarky shit they say. Most of the time, we let you live. Even I let people live with that. Well, you gotta let a motherfucker know, like, look, you're not gonna talk to me that way. Don't call me. I almost slapped a chick one time because I didn't know what the fuck she trying to refer to me as. That's some goddamn. Oh, you're sassy. No, you're just not used to men standing up for themselves. See, they want that 1940s man, the 1950s man, but they don't want that 1950s discipline of a woman. But they knew that man was going to go upside her goddamn cranium. Now, I'm not preaching violence, but I will say this: I have not been taught by my parents not to hit women. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. The thing is, I know that I don't have to hit you as hard as you hit me because I could do more damage. And I'm not a woman beater, by the way, because most women you see me with will tell you Charles is a gentleman. He's not going to take your shit, nor should he. And God forbid if you hit me, if you're a female, in front of a woman that cares about me, because they will beat your ass because they have that much love and respect for me. So this is the thing I tell a lot of women. Look, I don't know what you get off on trying to be manly, trying to be masculine, when all that's going to do is get you in trouble. Excuse me. You want men to avoid you? Be masculine. Be masculine. You're not even the cool type. You know what I'm saying? The cool type of female is the female you always love to be around, having a good time with. Can talk shit with, talk sports, play spades, play Madden, Street Fighter. Maybe even know how to put on some brakes or something. I don't know. But when it's time to go out, she get out them sweatpants and she can put on a dress and look way more exquisitely than any so-called girly girl out there in the world who can actually cook and cater. I'm not going to tell young men, oh, you got to please this woman. No, it's a two-way street. Get your goddamn shit. Get your goddamn shit on arrival. Get your benefits out there on arrival. If I can't get my benefits on A1 day one, what are we talking for, Shorty? Oh well, Charles, that's a little harsh. So what? It's harsh. So what? It's harsh. Hmm. By the way, don't forget to donate, like, share, subscribe, because the next sword I'm going to get is going to be the sword of power from He-Man. Bam, bam, He-Man. Dan, dan. He-Man. I think that a lot of times we get it misconstrued on not only what's important in this life, but also how to handle it. Because let's really be honest. You have opportunities out there to meet good men and women, but because our culture is so embedded with toxicity, we just override it and say, "Fuck no, we can't do it. We can't do it." But yet, we can't say how the next generation's going to react. What did we teach them? What did we guide them? I think honestly, we ought to take a we ought to take a reset and a rebate, and have somebody scribe down on some goddamn stone tablets if necessary, and literally put out what the guidelines of being a contributing member of the black society should be. Well, no, Charles, you can't talk bad about the women and the men. We trying. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're trying is the equivalent of dying. You're not even trying. You're not attempting to be great. Because if it was, nobody would ever challenge effort. You may not get everything, but you never tried the effort of it. I want you to really think about this. If we tried to get 100,000 black boys in the military each year for 10 years, which is a million, if we tried to do it, even with just that effort alone, let's say we got only 50,000, which would be 500,000 for 10 years. Wouldn't that add up to something? Wouldn't that add up to something? We don't even want to add up to something. We don't even want to say, hey, that sounds like a great idea. We can actually bring our young men up into the 21st century instead of letting them being staggered. Well, I don't know why my son's still sitting in the basement doing nothing. Because you're allowed him to. What type of responsibility did you give him? Remember when I said if we just put an effort into it, excuse me, just putting effort into that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just to say, hey, let's put forth an effort and say, hey, let's improve our situation. I think that will work. But kind of black folk, we don't like things that actually work. That are actually difficult, misconstrued, confusing. We need more leaders. A leader said, "Get your ass up, go to MEPS, go to the library, start studying for the ASVAB. Stop letting that free money get the fuck away." Try that. But it's something about being in bondage we have a love affair with. Just that love affair of being in bondage. We have to stay stagnant within bondage. We can't be the hero of our own narratives. Somebody can literally tell us, hey, this is a way to get out the hood. And if it ain't about rapping or trapping, it's not a real deal. Hmm. I just wonder, do we really want to see the light, or do we just envelop ourselves in internal darkness? Well, it's easy for you to say, Charles. No, it isn't. Very few people sell drugs, statistically. So it's not that damn hard. Like, here's a question: are your children college ready? You know the answer to that. Now, who else we got in here? I might drop the link for just a little bit. I plan on being here all night. I know AB got his show going. But I just think it's funny how people will only pick out one thing I'll say, but won't listen to nothing when I say, yo, young black man, get your shit together. Look at the realness of your politics. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Hit that cash app, people. Crazy part. The same people that complain about my content are the same people who ask for sympathy for me when they go through shit with their relationships. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? You go through the same shit that most black men go through, and you act like what I'm saying is a fucking full face lie. How dare you, you fucking hypocrite? Well, that's not fair, Charles. You can't blame all women. When do I say all women? The same chicks people put their little lives on, the same chicks they do all that for. You gotta understand. I see you in the back, Namer. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to you. I always wondered the same people who complain are the same damn people who want you to feel sorry for them when they going through some shit. Even with my opinions on those women that I said the dating world sucks, I didn't even blame women. I didn't even really blame women like that. I just said it's just done. A lot of those funky ass feminist chicks, don't deal with them because once they get mad, you see who they really are. They will sit there in your goddamn face, knowing that they work at a fucking comfy ass spot like some goddamn HR and talk about some goddamn mansplaining. But yet, you have a lot of these people fooling the goddamn selves. And when I share this information to protect themselves and to protect their goddamn neck, I said this all the time. A lot of these chicks you run across are gonna be no good for you. And that's not because, oh, I'm hating on females or oh, I'm I'm feeling a certain way. No, I'm saying this because one, when it comes to black men literally protecting themselves, you're gonna be shamed into doing some dumb shit. And I'm the one to tell you, don't do it. You don't need to do it. Why? If that woman loved you for you, guess what she would never do? Disrespect you. You get them mad long enough, they're gonna disrespect you. What's up, Namer? Ma'am, are you there? What's up, All-Star G?
Hold on a second. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Well, can you hear me now?
yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. Little technical issues with the Bluetooth, I guess. Uh,
Very technical. It's like many
yeah.
times you know where you tell young men,
Hmm.
young black men, to protect themselves at all costs. Oh, you shitting on women. I'm like,
Hmm.
God damn, come with something better. Come with something better. You don't get the emails when some of these people are ready to commit suicide. You know, and some people are just, even some of my closest friends. You can't be this ridiculous and tell me, well, at least a couple of them will say, hey, I know it's rough out there. I'm not looking for pity. I'm looking to help the young men who don't know. And unfortunately for a lot of those people, they have to be. There's too many times we let the young and wayward just go out there and get torn apart by life instead of letting them take it slow. You got to think about this. You're going to be out there with your own, whether here in America, or if you know, home, no matter where you are. You're going to have to learn to protect yourself and stand up for yourself. Sometimes it's going to cost you friends, money, girlfriends, hell, maybe even wives.
I had to learn a long time ago. Friends come and go.
Hmm.
And by the way, as far as suicide, everything goes, I've not mentioned this before, but like, was it like about 3 years ago? I was on the brink of it,
Hmm.
and I had to call two people. I had to call a couple of friends because I was scared I was going to hurt myself because I was like having like a severe anxiety attack, and I was starting having, and I do suffer from audio hallucinations when I really get really stressed out.
Hmm.
And I had to like call some people, and I had to spend the whole night sleeping in my hallway.
Yeah.
I had to sleep in my hallway just to keep myself from wanting to do something really hurt. If I was in any room, I was scared I was going to do something, so I had to sleep. So I spent the night sleeping in my hallway
Hmm.
and hating myself for having those thoughts. I had to call one friend, and one friend, unfortunately, they couldn't help me, but at least I had somebody call. But I texted some people. I couldn't call my counselor because can't call during office hours. And then when I messaged him like on our following session about what happened, he said, "You all right?" Yeah.
Hmm.
I couldn't call the hotline because I was scared they're gonna have to send somebody in to come get me. I was like scared I was gonna be put in a psych ward, and I did not want that.
Yeah.
I understand the stigma of it. There's still stigma up here about mental health anyway. As far as young men go, and unfortunately, as much as this guy's an asshole, Tommy Sotomayor had his points, and he was right about certain things. We're too busy, when he talks about when he talks about the single parent, single parent home dilemma. Everybody's too busy blaming the parent that isn't there, but nobody's talking about the parent that is there.
Hmm. It's almost like being thrown. What's up, Shawnee? It's almost like being thrown into a blender to use my boy Shawnee as a
Mm,
example. You know, great guy,
mm-hmm.
6'2", 6'3", handsome
All
dude.
right.
I don't have to say no homo because we're straight. Um, owns a house, owns 2 cars and a bike, motorcycle.
Mm,
Said, hey, to this one female sergeant who we both know, hey, I know a good guy. I know a great guy works for the Capitol. You know,
oh,
guy,
Shawnee's in DC.
yeah, he's in
Okay.
he
DC
works.
Metro.
Well, he works there. He works for the Capitol.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
he 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 has a great career. He's always been
Mm-hmm.
great
Mm-hmm.
disposition, great sense of humor. You know, he's like light skinned James Bond, always off somewhere with some bad bitch. Hey, that's a great guy. You can do something with him. You know, Shorty
Uh huh.
fumbled the fucking bag just to get promoted.
She she fumbled the bag. Let me guess. She fumbled the bag the same way Leon let fumble that ball before he crossed the goal line.
Yep. I mean, straight fumble. Straight fumble.
Don Beebe came from behind and knocked the ball out of his hand. But yeah, you get the point. I mean,
Straight disappointment. And it's crazy because you don't have to go through the mental. You don't have to go through the mental fucking health issues. You don't
mm-hmm,
have to go through none of this shit. Like,
mm-hmm.
this is the part where I tell a lot of men: protect yourself at all times. Why? Because these chicks are only gonna want to deal with you for 2 reasons. One, they want to find out if you have somebody, because when they stop playing around, they want to make sure they
Mm-hmm.
can in your ass. But then you be like, oh no, there's no room for you, baby Jesus. and
Fuck out of here.
it gets horrific. Why? Because this is what a lot of great guys experience. and let's not get it twisted. Guys like myself and good old Shawnee, we're not hurting for getting women. It's the fact that how many of you chicks are worth being around? Because
How many of them are on? How many of them when you? Because you know how like they talk about like they clown men by saying that y'all on the down low. How many women are on the up and up?
so how
and
many of them on
and
the
keep it
liquid?
above board when it comes to everything.
How
Everything,
many,
you know.
how many of them on the lick and click?
I know too many. I know too many switch hitters over here.
I mean, they're better switch hitters than goddamn marvelous Marvin Hagler. So shit. But 87 like what is it, 67% of black
Uh-huh.
LGBT are females, are bisexual women. Anytime you hear a chick in her
Uh-huh.
30s with kids or in her 40s with kids, and she's dating a woman,
Mm-hmm.
that means she's got about 127 bodies. She's fucked all the dick she can fuck. And then because she took so much dick, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's like fitting 2 2-liters in her cooch.
Mm-hmm.
She can't mystify another dude anymore with her cooch. So what does she do? She find one of the top 3 greatest simps in the world with her studs.
I don't care how masculine a stud is. At the end of the day, she's still a woman. Her mind operates like a female. I don't care how masculine she is. She's still a female at the end of the day. And she sometimes does not, and the fact that she does not understand men no more than a straight woman does shows you why she's such a simp.
She does because they think masculinity is this uniform men put on, take off, and put back on, and hey, anybody can be a man. No, you cannot.
No, you can't. I'll
When the
go one
world
step further, bro. Let me go. Let me go one step further first. Hold on a second, Charles. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me get this out. Really important point here. And I said this in front of a female, a white woman. One was L. One was, one's an L. The other was an S. Was straight. I once said this. I said, yeah, white women. I said, women can't be cocky. One of them said, what? No. It's more than just that. On two different occasions, I said that women can't be cocky. The first one was a friend of mine, and she's an L. She's married happily. I met her wife, really got a kind-hearted soul. And I told her, spell the word cocky. Immediately, they went to the first four letters. And yeah, I said, yeah, that's right. But then again, you're forgetting about the last letter, the letter Y. What does that represent? The Y chromosome. The Y chromosome, which means cockiness, which is actually a male trait, which is in the Y chromosome. This is something you cannot comprehend because you don't have a Y chromosome. You have two X's. I have an X and a Y chromosome, which means, and there's more to the Y chromosome than people forget, because remember, men, when we sire children, it's the sperm that determines the sex of the child. Either that last 23rd is going to be an X or a Y chromosome.
Yeah, you got to remember, this is the reason why all that fucking hero worship for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That shit that we played the other day, that hero worshiping shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. One of the greatest quotes I can think of was from Lex Luthor when he said, nothing good comes from hero worship.
Nope.
Because you're worshiping an ideal. And unfortunately, ideals get destroyed when they come face to face with the facts on the ground, with the reality of life. You can have ideals, but an ideal, who's more likely to survive and thrive in an environment? A pragmatist or an idealist?
It's gonna be pragmatism always.
The person with common sense or the fanatical ideologue?
Common sense is so rare that it's considered a superpower on the catalog.
Common sense isn't common, unfortunately. Yeah.
But you got to remember this one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I try to tell people, when a guy, years ago was like, I'm ready to leave my girlfriend, I don't know. And I asked him about his girlfriend. I think you might have been there.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I said, does your girl help with the bills? Yeah. Does she cook? Yeah. Does she respect you? Yeah. Does she like you? Yeah. Does she love you? Yeah. Does she play the game with you? Does she love interacting? Yeah. I said, dude, I will take a flight to where the fuck you live and beat your ass if you leave her. But people don't listen to when we say, hey, you got a good woman. People.
I've got people who got good, I've got people in my own inner circles and people I know from my family context who are happily married.
Yeah.
They've got good women in their lives, and yes, marriage is not easy. Relationships are not easy. Just like when you go, it's like when you're dancing with a dance partner. There are going to be times when you're gonna be out of sync slightly.
Yeah. You're not.
But that doesn't mean you stop dancing.
You're not two people who are identical. You marry the person that fills your cup that you're missing, the part that you're missing.
So yin and yang.
And this is the one thing I always said to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That woman's perfect for you, not for me. I know
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being disrespectful. That's being honest. That's being real. And a lot of people don't.
That's being self-aware.
It's very self-aware. It's being cognizant of the situation in front of you. That person can take you for you. It's like my father said, and oh yeah, by the way, happy birthday, Dad.
Oh, happy birthday, Charles! Happy birthday, Uncle Charles.
Yeah, my mom's is Monday, so.
See? Oh.
2 days and 2 years apart.
Right, what year were your parents born?
My dad's born February 21st, 1957. My mom's born February 23rd, 1959.
Oh, my
So,
mom's between them. April 4th, 1958. My
yeah,
mom's between them. My dad was August 27th, 1952.
smack in the
4 days.
middle.
Yeah. Hey, I
Smack
was
in the,
born 4 days after you turned 30. So,
yeah, smack in the
Mm.
middle with you. I got jokers to
Mhm.
right.
Oh, shit. You know what? I've mentioned this before, but you want to talk about compatibility and whatnot? Thank God my dad exposed me to Motown because, he grew up listening to Motown. Go back and listen to all of Marvin Gaye's duet albums.
Hey, Namer, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
All right.
What boomer didn't grow up and listen to Motown? Dumbass. I love you.
I, yeah, but you
You know I gotta fuck with
forget
you.
I'm an outsider. I'm on the outside. I know. You had Motown. We imported it.
Oh, you see, that's the beautiful thing about the black culture. You know, the culture people say we don't have, but you notice that
Hmm.
two Eritreans listen to Motown and who are boomers. That tells you how great a
Hmm.
culture was. Trust me. If your dad was still among us, well, he's among us, but in the spirit realm, I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
we get along very well.
Oh man, but my dad would get nostalgic about listening to James Brown, Isaac Hayes. Um, one of my uncles. This is my dad's. This is my paternal aunt's husband. This is my dad's brother-in-law, who's still with us. He's in his mid 70s now. Long time Marvin Gaye fan.
I got a question. Do y'all prefer the big T'Challa up there, or do you prefer the usual bada bing, bada boom?
The older, you mean the senior T'Challa? You mean T'Chaka, the father,
No, that's
not
T'Challa
T'Challa.
right there. I mean, like, do you prefer us being the smaller one or this being in the background? Because I'm feeling both though.
I like this. Hey, it's all the same. I like it all. This is all good.
Hey, we're
You
gonna put a
know.
black man back there, or at least a white,
But anyway,
or at least a white man who gets his powers from a black man. And tell
hey,
you,
I've always wanted. I remember asking this question to a couple of cats regarding the Black Panther movie. Whatever happened to the White Wolf? T'Challa's older brother, because he
well,
had a white older brother who was adopted.
yeah, well,
And
they call the
why?
white wolf
Hmm.
this in the movies. That's the code name
Hmm.
of the Winter Soldier while he was in Wakanda.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I they might go back into that. I don't know, but I I know that's why. Believe it or not, get Disney
Hmm.
Plus and go watch both Avengers cartoons. The
Yeah, I got to.
Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, and also watch Avengers Assemble. I think Avengers
Hmm.
Assemble is very well drawn, but story wise, I think Earth's Mightiest Heroes really gives you the quintessential ideal of the each hero.
Hmm.
Artistic wise, I think Avengers Assemble is beautiful, but
Hmm.
I don't like the fact that when they did T'Challa, I like the fact that they made Shuri this brilliant person when that's really T'Challa's role. T'Challa's one of the
Yeah,
people in fucking Marvel. It's
he's,
it's
he's
like
multifaceted.
it's like giving Lois Lane Superman strength, but he keeps all his other powers. When you
That
see
does not make any sense.
what's the number one superpower when you see Superman you think of that comes to mind?
Strength.
His godlike strength. So when you call somebody super, what does super mean? Come on,
He has
class.
super strength.
Super means what, class?
He has greater or superior or capabilities than other people. He has super strength.
Super strength, which means he is greater or above or levels of
Any
strength.
human.
Do
Yeah.
you know? Do you know when I forget this one website because it helped me with my book.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's different levels of super strength. Okay,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so when we look at super strength, we have to say there's different levels. Like, for example, Spider-Man's have super strength, right?
Yeah.
20 times stronger than a normal human.
Man, that comes with being that's a capability of spider. Just like like take in real life, an ant can actually pick up something 50 times its own weight.
Yeah.
And
So,
if you look at the mechanics of of an ant's anatomy, you'll realize, oh, that makes sense. And when you talk about strength, I can even go into details. We can say, like, when you talk about strength, I mean, look at strongman competitions. There's guys who are ridiculously strong, but they also have they have a certain level of technique to go with their strength. Others, they're just raw strength.
so when you think about it, right? What's the greatest ever
Hmm.
bench press? Greatest ever bench press was about 500 to 510 pounds, right?
Ooh,
So if the average male can only bench press what, 135 pounds, how many times stronger am I than the average male?
2.5 to 3 times.
So would you consider that superhuman?
That is superhuman.
So
Yeah, I mean,
if the greatest
I've
I
seen
ever
your
lived,
workout. I've seen your workout clips, man. You had me laughing that last time you were doing the light weights, and you were acting like you were pushing 600 on that one.
you know, I like the fact that my wrestlers played along with it. I mean, you
I
hear,
was fucking dying.
it was
But
it
but but
was
but can we get back to the point I wanted to make? By the way, I need to make this
no,
point.
fuck
That's
your
really important
point, but
regarding
go ahead.
Motown.
No, fuck your point, go ahead.
We're talking about compatibility and whatnot.
But I'm gonna say
I
this,
went back
and
to
this is
Mhm. Okay.
I'm gonna say this real quick. So put a pin in it real quick. And the
Oh
reason
yeah, sure.
why
I
I
got that.
said
I
that,
got 3 pins on that.
and I'm gonna say this, why? Because
Hmm.
there's love,
Hmm.
and when we look at the levels of things that we do,
Hmm.
um, we have to be very cognizant of things that we have. Like for example,
Yeah.
like this is one of the things, like what I showed you about the super strength. See if I
Yeah.
could actually get rid of this shit. I hate
Here
this
for
shit.
every stage of the journey. All
Yeah,
right.
there we go. So if you if you look at super strength right here, look at where
Yeah.
we start at. You start at levels. Peak human strength can lift one's body weight twice or triple their own body weight, anywhere from 220 to
Hmm.
4. And then now we get the super enhanced strength. User can lift thousands of pounds or tens of thousands, which is probably going to be your ultimate Captain America, your Spider Mans. Now you got supernatural strength, tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of
The
thousands of
Incredible
pounds,
Hulk.
which is probably going to be like your Colossus. I think
Hmm.
your Hulk is more here. Actually,
Oh yeah.
let's go a little lower if you can see it. Probably millions to billions. So, can you still see it?
Yeah, I can see a little bit. Hang on. Let me,
Okay.
because I'm seeing this on my phone. The
Yeah.
streamer screen is
I'm trying
not.
to,
Yeah, it is. What it is.
StreamYards is a son bitch. But then you have other levels
Mhm.
right here. This is the near infinite strength. But this is what you
Mhm.
call when you're writing story. That's why I always love this. If you go to powerlifting fandom, it
Mhm.
helps you write different because they have a whole list of superpowers, and you'd be surprised what you could do with different powers.
Mhm.
Absolute strength. The user possesses lifting or striking capabilities to an infinite scale by sheer strength. The user can create and rip time, space, dimensional, or reality. And in addition, the user can move and destroy all totality, as any obstacle that emerges can be defeated or eliminated, or perhaps even face off with nigh omnipotent beings. Meaning that person right
Mhm.
there probably has godlike strength. And
Godlike, insurmountable strength that is beyond one's own comprehension.
Like right here, you have Gino, different levels like animal strength, cybernetic,
Ooh,
you know, you have like
cybernetic.
different invulnerability, telekinetic strength. So it's different ways that person can gain strength. And the reason
Mind
why,
control, adaptability, flexibility, all these if you have the right combination, because if you look at every character, they have a certain combination of capabilities that is adapted to their physio
their
and their
physio
demeanor.
and also their environment.
Yeah,
And
just
we're
like with
and we're
just just like when when you think about like MMA, everybody's got their certain set of skills that they have their particular skill set, which is compatible to their body type
yeah.
as well as their fighting techniques.
Even though I will tell anybody, I think Khabib still is. I think BJ Penn is better than Khabib as lightweight champion. But
Oh, BJ, but would put a hurting on people like we did the Jens Pulver. He wore him out.
yeah, I
His
think that
elbows were something else, man. The way he could, like what he did to Joe Stevenson
I
when he
think
busted him open in their fight.
Joe Stevenson wasn't ready for his level of boxing.
No,
You could see that from
he
Sean.
left him bloody, and he was bloody. He bloodied him up because remember he was getting blood in his own eye, and so
And
when he put the rear naked, he lost a lot of blood, and he was just like losing oxygen, so he had to tap out immediately in that
so
second round.
when he was when he went against when he get against Sean Shirk showed me how dangerous he is.
Sean Shirk was not first of all. Sean Shirk is built like a wrestler for somebody his size at 5'6". He's
Well, he's
compact.
he is a wrestler.
No, but he's that ideal wrestler because he's short and compact.
Yeah, he's
You know,
explosive.
he's explosive. But he has to give up a lot because his limbs are like kind of shorter. He gives up the reach advantage. BJ had the reach advantage and the height advantage because remember BJ is 5'9".
And then you got to
Sean
think.
Shirk is 5'6".
Then you got to think about like like how the fuck is it that you know how the fuck is it that you're gonna tell me he
Mm-hmm.
could be the greatest lightweight of all time when he didn't face anybody that was worthy of facing?
He didn't. He never fought Tony Ferguson, and then talk about that matchup is cursed. 4 times they try to match up, and it never happens.
You really think that BJ would have submitted him?
BJ would have submitted him. He would have. BJ. First of all, everybody talks about him being, on how he be on the ground. As a grappler, he takes you to the ground and wear you out. How are you going to go against somebody who is, first of all, called the prodigy because he earned his jiu-jitsu black belt within 3 years of training?
Mm-hmm.
And BJ's legs operate like a second set of arms.
Yeah, he's that
You
flexible.
take him, he is ridiculously flexible.
Let's look at this real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big strong GSP.
Ooh.
Strong GSP had trouble taking BJ down. I don't see Khabib being a better takedown artist than GSP. Fuck no.
GSP is a strategist also. GSP understands. GSP is willing to bring in all kinds of people invite people to his camp so he can be so he can learn and adapt new tools into his toolbox. He's always looking for a new way to fight. Habib, by the way, it's pronounced Habib, by the way, not Khabib. Khabib is just the Russian way. Habib understands one way because
even when you do Russian Sambo, and I love the
and wrestling
because Sambo is like judo, but I mean you have combat Sambo which allows strikes, but Russian Sambo is very similar to judo and wrestling, except in judo you can't do leg locks. In Sambo you can do leg locks, but in Sambo you can't do chokes.
Chokes. No.
which is the weird.
Sambo actually has its roots in. It was invented in the 1920s by two Russians. It combines judo and Russian and folk style wrestling, as well as Greco-Roman wrestling and freestyle.
It's like right
So
now,
it's very wrestling.
some of the
Hmm.
best wrestlers in the world right now, the Japanese, even though
Oh,
they always had a great women's division.
yeah.
Um, because when they first introduced Olympic wrestling for women, like their whole
Hmm.
fucking women's team came out with gold medals. I mean, they had like 4-time Olympic gold medalists, 3-time gold medalists, one
Hmm.
time silvers. I mean, Yoshida was like undefeated for 15 years. So, I mean, think
And
about
she
it.
trained hard, and she put in that work in on that mat back in Japan, training hard,
Yeah,
learning how to be tactile. She understood technique. She
they trained
understood game plan.
they trained
They
the
trained
same
them
way
all kinds of ways.
they trained. That's the reason why I said, when it comes to
Hmm.
sports, there are certain sports I love. I love combat sports. Why? Because a woman who's trained just like the men, and this is what
Hmm.
the WNBA is missing, in my personal view, as a coach and as a competitor, because you got to look at things two different ways, right?
Hmm.
A coach has to tell you, look, I'm going to make sure you get the best out of me, but I'm damn sure going to get the best out of you. That being said, let's take Angel Reese. There's no reason why Angel Reese in the first 5 years of the WNBA is not worth $500 million. Her
She
agent,
has not gotten a sufficient foot in her ass, by the way.
her agent,
Hmm.
and her coaches are doing her a disservice because if she was,
There it.
there's nobody who's that fucking physically attractive should not
Hmm.
have skills to pay the bills. Number one,
Somebody
women
needs to hire her new publicist. Actually, that's what I would say. She needs a new publicist.
they need to hire a new trainer first. Number one,
Okay.
you need to get your skills up. This is the reason why I said
Mm.
being a competitor and a coach is paramount. You just talked about GSP. What was he famous for?
He
Getting
was a
people,
master strategist.
getting people with different disciplines. When he wanted to wrestle, he didn't go to an MMA gym. Guess where he went? He went to the
He
Canadian
brought in
Olympic.
Russians, Canadian Olympic team, but he also brought in Russian nationals too. But there were Russian nationals also training in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So when I was doing international wrestling, did you think I was afraid to wrestle Russians?
No,
No, I wanted to see what these motherfuckers was about. You wanted to show me something. But
one of
look,
my favorite things is one thing I got to mention. You ever notice in boxing or like in MMA sometimes when somebody gets punched in the face and they just smile?
I done that.
Even in WWE, when somebody get punched in the face, gets slapped and punched, and they smile, they're like, "Yeah, this is what I was looking for.
My
I've
first
been looking
MMA
for something for a challenge like that." Yeah. Hmm.
first MMA fight, the dude hit me with a wicked right hook. And I smiled at him.
Uh
He
huh.
even said after the fight, he said, when you smiled at me, he said, all I see was the fastest 6 punches come at my head.
Stay off the cigars.
Oh, fuck no.
I've been meaning to
Excuse me.
say.
Hey,
Hey, wait, are you smoking cigars? Or it's just actual cigars, right? There's no
I'm
there's
smoking.
no wacky tobacco in there. You sure? The way you coughing and everything,
Yep.
you coughing like Red and Meth from the How High movie right now.
Oh, yeah,
They
some
were
good
hot
shit.
box
This good shit.
when they were smoking the ivory.
That's the old saying in Baltimore. Roll that shit, light that shit, smoke it, smoke it,
Smoke
smoke it.
that shit.
Shit, light that shit, smoke it, smoke it, smoke it, smoke it.
Oh man.
It's kind of funny because sometimes that's no good. Sometimes
Yeah,
you get
but
smoked. But you got to
yeah.
realize that when you
Mm,
when you want a good when you want a good competitor,
mm-hmm,
I would take her behind the scenes
mm-hmm,
and I'd be like, bitch, either you're gonna be known for being the greatest rebound champion of all time in the WNBA, or you're gonna have to start scoring boards. As many people as she know right now in her fucking phone.
mm-hmm.
And then this is another thing. First of all, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark would have been on my fucking Olympic team because guess what? Sell the tickets. Sell. 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 How much money do you think me and Brandon Tatum could make? I'm gonna paint a picture for you, Namer. Anybody else who wanna come
Uh-huh.
up? That's the link. And please, in the chat, please tell me how much money do you think me and Brandon Tatum can make? We're gonna
Ooh, you
we're gonna
would have.
we're gonna start this, and this is the title: Good Cop, Bad Cop. Right there, that hooks you, doesn't it?
That's a good. No, that does hook you, and just to get the eyeballs and the conversation
You got the
right there. You got two cops, one from Baltimore, one from Phoenix. They go back and forth about police and everything. That's going to draw a lot of people. Just like we were talking about here regarding Caitlin Clark. What
think
is
about it.
Caitlin Clark, first of all? She's a star. Star power. She attracts a lot of people. She's a big draw. Jason Tatum and you're gonna be drawing. You guys are gonna be drawing eyeballs left, right, and center.
And then we could actually we could actually do what we could actually do something that's called in pro wrestling a work shoot.
But work, shoot, yeah.
Hey, don't talk
Although
about
I'm a little worried. Although I'm a little worried about one thing, Charles.
what's that?
Given your Isaac Hayes type of sex appeal, if there's gonna be a lot of women out there, trust and believe, there's gonna be some draws thrown in your direction. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
When hasn't there been drawers? When hasn't there been drawers been thrown at me? So shit. He thinks I
Oh,
did.
also G said it best. Nigga, that's enough money for your reparations. I'm like,
If I get a hold of this and I'd be like,
it'd be like Ali and Frazier.
good cop, bad cop. There may be
Oof.
times where he might be the one to be like, whoa, 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 that's a little extreme. And people be like, no, how many times All Star G, LAPD SWAT, where I talked about a good shooting and I said that motherfucker should have been shot a long time ago. But see, what did I talk about earlier during my first hour of actually having a rant or rumble? I think this was more of a rumble because this was actually more put together and structured.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the black community is black men don't want to work together because you want to be the head nigga in charge.
Do you remember Robert Guillaume and Morgan Freeman in Lean on Me? That
Mm-hmm.
conversation in the courtroom where
That was the
Guillaume
same
had to set
thing
it.
my
We had
drill
to.
sergeant. That was the same thing my drill sergeant said about being the HNIC. Y'all don't understand about being the HNIC. Okay?
What comes with it?
And he made white boys call him the HNIC. See, being the HNIC, you have to be fearless. Okay?
MLK was the HNIC, even though he would not take kindly to that term. Malcolm X was the HNIC in his own right, but he would not take kindly to that term. They understood
Well, he wouldn't
the
use
pros and cons. He would. Well, yeah.
Well,
Or the head brother in charge, HBIC.
Well, you got to understand something when it comes to authority. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is back on you because this is what we call, the diaspora. Notice we don't challenge your blackness because you're not, a descendant of American slaves. We love you the same.
Straight from the mother. I'm straight from the motherland, 100%.
I'm straight from the slave ship with the same 4-5. This is what you got to understand something.
Mm-hmm.
In your culture, you were never stifled your masculinity.
We were encouraged. We were never allowed.
Say it again for the niggas in the back with your chest poked out. Say it louder. Thank you, because you said
I'm gonna say a lot more. We were not hamstrung. We were encouraged, and more importantly, we were taught that it was our duty to be masculine because because they explained to us everything rides on us being great. Our families, our children, our parents, our entire communities they rise and fall with us succeeding or failing.
Thank you. You know why? This is the same guy's birthday today, my father, and that lady's birthday Monday, my mother. Both told me on different occasions when I was little, I never fucking raised you to be henpecked. For those of you who don't know what the fuck henpeck means, I never raised you to be humbled by a bitch.
I was young and naive, but thankfully there were men and women in my family who were able to pull me back and say, don't do that. Just like I had a couple of big brothers when I was in basic training who pulled me aside and say, hey, man, you're 16, I know you're 16, you're the youngest of us, but you need to calm down.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody that tamed the fucking herd.
Hey, I needed a foot in my ass every once in a while. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
There's always somebody that got to tame the herd.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crazy part. It happened to me. Anybody in the military would tell you this one. At some point, when you're in a paramilitary organization, you may be called to tame the herd. I remember Josh.
Our brother Sandog talks about that.
I remember Josh called me because two brothers was going to fight over this female police officer. And my boy Josh called me up to the district because he was working at desk.
Oh, shit.
If blows were going to be thrown, he called me before blows were about to be thrown because one of the officers said, oh, he talking shit about me. I'm coming up there. And I'd have told both of them, I said, the first motherfucker throw a blow, I'm knocking both of you motherfuckers the fuck out.
That shut him up.
And if y'all want to still fight, guess what? I get the winner. But if y'all want to fight, I get it. People being disrespectful. We take it to the fight gym, but we don't disrespect the goddamn district or the uniform.
No, there's a time and a place for everything. Not to mention, as people on the force, you understand there's a level of decorum. You're not going to be unprofessional. You're not going to conduct yourselves as professional and responsibly when in uniform.
And you know
When you're
what?
off
No,
duty, you got your issues. You take it where you take it outside. You take it out back.
you don't go and let some fucking chick who's gonna do the same thing she's doing to this day, fucking to get ahead.
Shit.
Hey, All Star G, I need you to put this in the chat for me. There was a drill sergeant. There was a first sergeant who said this the best when we went to basic. Don't worry about your girl at home. She's gonna be the same way you left her. What's that, first sergeant? Freshly fucked.
Oh man, consider how many brothers came back. Consider how many brothers in arms came home to an empty house after how God knows how many tours they did in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Dear John. But yet,
Westpac widow, anybody?
a lot of people don't know. I was called offline, not online, by our so loved Dr. T.S.R. Johnson to talk to a
Yeah.
black man who said he didn't want to talk to nobody who wasn't a vet. He was a veteran of Iraq, and he was going through stuff. You know, I talked to that brother for 2.5 hours.
And you saved his life.
But nobody, none of the detractors, even some of the people that have known me for 30 years, will never talk about that shit. And I purposely said that shit. So I'm hoping some of my friends will call me so we can have Discord. Yeah, y'all don't hear, oh, you complain about women. No, I'm talking about my experiences in the dating world. Yes, I could talk about that. Why? Because I'm talking about how ridiculous the dating world truly is. You need to protect yourself at all times, nigga. But yet, I thought it was more valuable talking to a brother who was suicidal, who went through similar experiences that I have.
See, that tells you what certain people, and that just tells you, and that says a lot more about other people than it says about you. People only see what they want to see, hear what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I remember when I was coming up in Eritrea, some people would look at me sideways because I think a certain way because they just know me as as a joker, as a weirdo, and everything. But we're like, damn, you like that? I'm like, just because you read the book of Job doesn't mean you know the whole Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are other people I've interacted with. They've seen a different side of me.
There are some people
Because I have to conduct myself one way, because in every situation you got to conduct yourself differently.
Yeah, there are some situations.
And it's not code switching. It's not code switching here, folks. I'm talking about.
It's called the conducting of business. Because what's the first rule? Because if you're in the military, police department, hell, even armed security, sometimes in order to save life, you might be what?
Willing to take life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Lost, you're gonna love this story about your character. Lost, I actually wrote Lost in the story, so hey, Lost, if you can, come
right.
here. So I want you to think about it. There's shit that I go through that some of the closest people I know never experience. And they're like, damn, we never knew. How do you keep this to yourself? Because it's not your burden to bear, it's mine.
They should be glad they don't have to go through some of that shit.
If I could fight a war that my kid, my god kids, my friends' kids who are like basically my nieces and nephews are god kids, if I could fight a war where they didn't have to see a fifth of what the shit I've experienced, I'd do it. But people don't hear that part. People want to hear, oh, you complain about women. Fuck women. They're here today, gone tomorrow. They're like buses. You miss one, wait 15 minutes, the next one coming.
Absolutely.
And I'm like this. I'm not mad about
what women. Are we doing?
You see me and all my ill-gotten whoredom and hedonism. That's why I told him. I said, see, you're blessed to be married, some of you. You're blessed to be in long term relationships for some of you. For me, that may not be my journey. And I'm okay with it. I can't go to the next man and say, hey, you need to go and find yourself a good wife when I know goddamn well we don't fucking create them anymore. Okay? You're lying to people without giving them the whole fucking facts. And the insidious part about the shit. The insidious part
Mm-hmm.
is that if I come and I tell a person, look, what's up? I want to make this money. I could go to many of the female friends of mine and say, hey, I got a plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get married. We're going to get this money. You got younger kids than me. We're going to take this money. We're going to flip this shit.
Okay, I'm listening.
We're going to put these kids through this fucking college. We're going to keep galvanizing all this money. I'm about to get my 100%. Let's put the first down payment on a fucking house, flip that shit, and rent that bitch out as a duplex. If you're not
I'm
willing,
sure senior's going to get involved in the project, have a look at it, and say, okay, this is what you're going to need to do, son. We got to repair this, that, and the third, and the house
yeah.
is going to be good, looking good in no time.
But you know what's funny?
Hmm.
My father respects my masculinity as well. But
It took a while for my father to respect my masculinity, especially be considering, and this is not a knock on him. It was just the circumstances of what life was for me coming up as an adult. My viewpoints and the way I conducted myself was sometimes a little, because I was born outside, but when I came back home, I still had part of that of me. So I had a different outlook. But he understood it eventually and respected it. He didn't understand what what I was trying to do, but when he realized it, he said, "Okay, now I understand. I respect it." But never was I disrespectful. We might have had our differences. We might have had heated arguments, but I was always respectful to my elders.
not only
And
were
if
you
I was, it was behind. And if we did have any disagreements, if I was mad about something, it was always remained behind closed doors.
you know, I'm gonna say this, and I just opened up my one of my phones.
Okay. Hope you like the picture I put up.
It's a great picture.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
that's a
this.
man. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Sean Strickland never reacts to Cain Velasquez prison release. This is Sean Strickland words. The fact that he went to jail for trying to kill a pedophile, that's the problem. Back in this country, trying to kill a pedophile should make you a hero. Now, what you go to jail for? 1 to 2 years, maybe longer. It it's a strain on our country. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this. I don't think King Velasquez should have went to jail. I think the only reason he did because a stray bullet hit somebody else's fucking vehicle.
I would go one step further to say somebody should have stopped him and said, "Don't get in the car. Put down the weapon."
I'll do it for you.
because yeah, that too. But what I'm saying is, because as somebody who is an officer of the law, I know sometimes you want to get revenge on guys like this. But as Samuel
Sometimes,
Adams once said, are we going to be a nation of law or are we going to be the nation of the mob?
sometimes, see, I respect that statement.
Mm-hmm. And I get the anger of why Cain did what he did.
But Samuel
Mm-hmm.
Adams also was one of the enslavement class, right?
He was. He also defended the. He also defended the British soldier, the British officers in the Boston Massacre, and he made it
So,
a point to do so because he said, "Hey, are we going to be a nation of laws, or are we going to be the nation of the mob?"
because I'm gonna ask this question:
He was a contradict. He was contradictory. I get that.
if a motherfucker says I'm gonna kill somebody for trying to
Mm-hmm.
enslave you, how can you imprison a black man fighting for his?
I could not imprison. I could not do that. That doesn't
Because
make any sense.
I wanna just have that conversation
Mm-hmm.
because if we're gonna be a nation of laws and we're gonna talk about some shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about some good shit, some good Billy Badass shit.
I'm glad Kane's out. By the way, I'm very glad Kane is out. It's just
Here's what you when you put all
mm-hmm.
this feminist. This is the reason why I'm anti-feminism.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you notice
Hey,
with
what I
feminism,
said was not. It was not a feminist thing, though.
no,
No.
when you took
Be,
away feminism
mm-hmm.
is that you took away protection of men. Because there's sometimes I have to tell my own mother. There's times I told my own mother, and there's times I'm cursing. Just sit your ass down and don't get in the way of two men fucking arguing.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get caught in the crossfire by doing so.
Don't get in the way of two men fucking arguing. At one time, people may think I'm rude for this. I had to push my mother out
Mm-hmm.
the way with one arm. And you know what that made her realize? Oh shit, you could have killed me. I'm like, Ma, get the fuck out the way. I'm trying to save your fucking life.
How often do women read the room?
Not in the modern day. And that's the difference in
No.
culture. Because women think they could actually go toe to toe with a goddamn man. I'm like a goddamn grizzly bear or a goddamn fucking American lion to most women. You don't
I'm not
know.
lying.
You
You
don't
do.
know.
You do not. But
You gotta understand the largest cat we ever seen to this day, naturally, was an American lion. That was like 35% bigger than African lions. It was bigger than a goddamn tiger. You gotta understand, and I'm very respectful to my mom and my dad, but at the same time, you gotta you try to break up my brother and one of my step nephews got into it in their house. Ma, get the
mm-hmm.
fuck out the way. like if one of them dudes hits you and swing at each other and miss, guess what? They could kill you.
And your mom's really small, isn't she?
5 feet tall. I mean,
God
she's
damn.
tough. She's tough, but guess what? You're not tough in my view. And that's a big burden for most black women because
My
most
mother is
black women
5'5", and she knows better than to get involved in fights like that. I mean, she
your
understands.
mom
But then
your
again,
mom
in my culture, if two young men get into a fight, if an older woman gets involved, she says, "Hey," her voice carries authority. Or if an older gentleman comes in and raises his voice, that voice carries authority, so they know how to stand down.
So in other words, you got to think that's the
Respect
difference.
for elders.
That's a difference in
Respect for elders.
American. Why do you think
Hmm.
a lot of shit goes on in the black community where I blame the women for?
They're the ones in positions of power, but they don't know how to use that pressure, that authority, appropriately or responsibly. Because the men have been forced out, the men have been hamstrung, the men have been compromised in certain situations, for the most part. And the men who still have a set of nuts and they let their nuts hang and swinging, and they stand 10 toes down, they get ridiculed, they get disrespected.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding, I have a responsibility. I mean, your father, all 5'7" of them, he wasn't fucking around. Also, a big shout out to speaking of former veterans. Shout out to Calvin Rogers over in Ohio, Master Sergeant, Sergeant Major, Rogers over there. He comes from a respectful family. He's got family. His family's been in the military. When he talks, we gotta all shut our mouths and be quiet because nobody's fucking around.
Even on my show, I give certain deference to older people. This is the funniest thing. Like, it's not like people like, oh, you disrespect your mom. No, it's not. Ma, get the hell out the way. Because there may become a time I might have to be the juggernaut and people gotta go.
I'm gonna tell you a story. Now, yes, I am Eritrean, and this is like during my first year and a half in Norway. I'm waiting on I'm on the bus. I'm waiting for the bus, right? And there's this older gentleman who came by, East African. He was Somali, by the way. He was lost. He didn't know how to converse, and I had to help him in a way because I was raised to be respectful. He couldn't speak Norwegian, and I had to try to converse with him in Arabic to help him because I don't speak Somali. I had to converse with him in Arabic with the bus driver to communicate with the bus driver. And I had to help him, try to get where he needed to be because we were on the same bus. And it turned out we were on the same bus stop. I told, he was curious about me. I told him I'm from Eritrea, this, down, third. And I told him I was a Christian. He said, hey, that's cool. I appreciate that. And this was an older man. He had to be like in his 60s at the time. Fast forward sometime about a couple months later, I saw that man. He got off a bus. He was getting off a bus in the downtown area. When I was passing through, I saw him. I said, and I greeted him accordingly. You know what that man did when he saw me? He remembered my act of kindness. He took my hand and kissed it. And he kissed me on the cheek. That was basically him saying, I appreciate you, young man. And when there was this other older Somali who was with him, who was waiting for him, saw the interaction. He asked him, what's that about? He said, I'll just the young Eritrean tried to help me out. Just wanted to say thank you for the help. Because I showed because he knew, somebody respects who comes from the similar culture and has respect for the elders, can be that kind-hearted and whatnot. I remember there was an Eritrean I knew. He had his mother come visit. This was an elderly grandma. She was a typical Eritrean grandmother. Kind-hearted soul. I had to help her, and I remember conversing with her the same way I converse with the elders in my community. And I missed that. I got nostalgic about my grandmothers that way because, yeah. Everybody, hey, do you remember when you were coming up? If somebody's mom got off the bus from with grocery bags in her hands, one of y'all had to go help her get her stuff, get her grocery bags in, like if Miss such and such had, Mrs. such and such had, was, just came from the store, got off the bus. You're like, yo, let me go help her out. Hey, Miss Jackson, hang on, let me help you. Let me help you with that. Let me help you with that.
The drug
Whatever
dealers.
happened to that?
They used to be the drug dealers, dude. It's
Mm-hmm.
called decorum. You don't have it anymore.
Decorum, respect for the others. Yeah.
It's called, the drug dealers used to have that. So when you don't have any fathers because women think they're so good leaders. They're not.
Hmm.
Women don't hold tight to fucking rules. That's why they always compromise.
Do you remember that
That's
link
why
I
they're so
sent
easily
you
compromised.
recently? Did you get that link I sent
Which
you on
one?
WhatsApp? It was a scene of from Boys in the Hood when Reva and Furious sat down at a restaurant, and Reva was given, Angela
Mm-mm.
Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne's characters. She was upset about. She couldn't comprehend the fact that their son was growing up. She still wanted to baby him,
Because
despite the
women
fact
don't
that he's.
recognize. Because women
Yeah, I
don't
know. I have
recognize
that problem.
authority. This is what you. This is
Women
what
don't even.
most black people understand. Most
Hmm.
black men don't
Hmm.
understand that. Most black women don't understand that. First and foremost, women don't understand authority. He said, "You've been fault." You don't make that into a T-shirt.
I think we're too late for that. It's probably gonna get a T-shirt. Hey, yo,
So,
Chris, he gonna need about 50% on that.
well, you got to understand. Right now, what we're talking about is how
Uh-huh.
growing up in the diaspora,
Uh-huh.
Neymar being Eritrean and me
Hmm.
being ADOS, black, Baltimorean black American. You got to understand something that a lot of us are not looked at as men. We're man nots. Thank you, Tommy Curry. Because
Hmm.
one, when you're a man not, you're not given the respect and authority of a goddamn grown man, even
You're
in
not
your
even
own,
human.
even in your grown damn families.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be, you're supposed to be the beast of burden.
You're a
So,
mule.
so coming out and telling a bunch of women that no, you're not gonna do this shit. Why should I do? No, I'm not gonna fucking beat up your boyfriend because you picked the motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my face.
What's the point? What happened? He put his hands on me. I'm sorry. Isn't that why you were drawn to him?
Why would you pick a man if I told you otherwise not to pick a man to put his hands on you? So what are you telling your daughter? What are you telling your daughter? This the type of men you want?
There are women who are drawn to such men, but they know to stay the hell away from them because they understand how detrimental and how dysfunctional relationships with such men could be in the long term.
They don't. See, this is
Some
the
do,
problem.
but
Come on,
most
Chris.
don't.
Come on, Chris. Come on up here. The link in the chat.
Hey, how's Josh doing, by the way?
Oh, wonderful.
Mm.
This is the part. This is the part where a lot of men don't understand that, you know, fundamentally,
Mm.
women want protection from their mistakes. I don't think you should protect women from their mistakes. I think it's a sin to do so.
Bro, do you remember this? I remember mentioning this to you years ago in one of your earlier streams. The phrase is, my mess, I better clean it up. One time, my father saw me fixing something. He was looking at me and said, "What are you doing?" "It's my mess and I'm cleaning it up." He said, "Okay," and then left the room. I didn't say anything. I didn't smile. I just focused on the task at hand. I broke something and I was repairing it. "Oh, don't worry. You don't need your camera. You don't need your camera on, Chris. If you have an avatar, you're good." "It's all right, Chris. You can come on up. Don't worry." Anyway,
No, got an avatar.
but
Even
like I said, my mess, clean it. So women got to understand your mess. You got to clean it up.
I tell people all the
Just
time.
like, mhm,
I tell people all the time. That's how you know you're respected by your dad. When Peanut was conceived, when found out Angie
mhm.
was pregnant, well, I didn't tell him until she was about 3 months pregnant because you don't know. She could have a fucking miscarriage for all you fucking know. And
Oh yeah.
hey, guess what? You're about to be grandpa. Well, he was already a grandparent. This is my niece and nephew are not my mother's biological grandchildren, but that's still grandma. So fuck it. And she takes care of them the same way either way. We don't do that bullshit. So when they were like, hey, they respected the fact that, hey, paraphrasing, my mess, I'm cleaning.
My mess, I'm cleaning it up. Just
So
like, you can't. I live by myself. I made it a point to go. I went to a hardware store and bought myself my own plunger because I realized, hey, ain't nobody gonna unclog the toilet other than me.
mm-hmm.
Just like I got my own toolbox because I realized, hey, unless I really need to call the plumber, I gotta take care of this mess myself. Same thing with repairing anything else in this house. Unless I really need to get I need to call a repairman. I'm doing it my goddamn self. I changed the light bulbs and everything.
I tell
I clean
people
up my own mess.
I tell people all the time, there's a reason why I'm the way that the fuck I am. That's the same reason why I think a lot of people in this space fucks with me. I don't make myself into this bigger than life person. I think it was and most of the thing, and that's the link for anybody who want to come up. Please do come up. Enjoy the banter. A lot of people don't understand the fact that one, I'm not afraid to tell you my flaws. I'm not afraid to tell you when I struck out. When I told you I had to cut off 3 to 4 fucking females I pulled because they were not singing to my soul. When you're a staunch feminist, you're not going to match well with me.
No,
Not only BGS, do you know how many stats I've given to Dr. T and BGS? Do
I
you know how
can't
many
even imagine. Begin to imagine. I can't
do you
even
know,
begin to imagine.
do you know how many stats and validity I gave to fucking Kevin Samuels?
The late Kevin Samuels made his name be hollow and ring true
Do you
throughout
know
the ages.
do you know how many fucking times I've told people, I said, look, at the end of the fucking day, end of the fucking day,
Hmm.
I put my time and grace in this space like any fucking body else. Sometimes more so. So that being said, everything's being fair. Don't
Hmm.
think that I'm some Johnny come lately in this motherfucker. No, I'm not.
No, you've been here since you were one of the day ones, man.
And
You're
I
one of the
told you,
day ones.
I don't
But
expect I don't expect to have BGS numbers, even though I was approaching that shit before the algorithm fucked me.
I don't know if you were. I don't remember if you were there when Compassionate Callus had his last stream. Oh no, you
No,
were there at the end. You were there at the end.
that's why a lot of questions what he had on his
Hmm.
stream I can answer very
Hmm.
vividly.
Yeah.
See, yes, I'm black pill. Yes, I'm harsh. But my son, there's some things that I notice about my son's will, and that was him. That's why I can admit, oh, my son's colder than me in some aspects.
Hmm.
Because there's some shit I didn't even talk to him about. And that's just naturally him.
Hmm. I probably have
And
a word with that boy. Be like, hey, hold on, Peanut. He'd probably look at me like, hey, Uncle Nema. I said, Peanut, give that here, son. I know you cold, but leave the crazy to me. Now, if you want to learn a thing or two, I'll be happy to teach you. But we need
mm-hmm,
to have a serious conversation about this. But certain things right now, you are not ready to deal with. I know you cold, but you still got some growing up to do.
mm-hmm.
You 18, but you're not a grown man yet. You're coming up to becoming a grown. You're coming up to becoming grown, but you're not a grown man yet. You still got a lot of you still got a lot of growing up and you still have to go through certain trials and tribulations like the rest of us.
There are certain things called wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
That's a
You still got
puppy.
to pay your dues.
You're still a puppy.
Hmm.
When people talk about the experienced man, if you're my age or Name's age and you're not
The
experienced,
grizzled veteran.
you're still, as the old commercials say, I'm experienced enough to know what I'm doing and I'm young enough to do it. You
Hmm.
should you should know what it is to be who it is. There's a lot of you brothers out there who don't have the experience yet. I'm not gonna
Or the
knock you.
know how.
The will how, but not the know.
That too, because there's some people, they go into when I mean the know how, I mean some people go into these things not knowing what the hell they're doing. And I'm like, do you know what you're doing? I mean, did you even bother to like look up for instructions on how to do this shit?
And
I
it's
mean, you
like
guys have the younger people. I'll tell the younger people, you guys have the internet. You know what you're doing. You can get that information with ease.
it's not just the know how, it's the will how. You
Hmm.
gotta
Oh yeah,
answer.
well, that's
It's
something I got to battle. The will how as well at times. But go ahead.
it's the fact of the matter that a lot of young men don't have enough. This is the reason why we're fighting back hard against the FD signifiers. We're fighting back hard against those guys who are trying to feminize you into thinking, oh, black women are always right. No,
They're
that's
trying
not.
to get the kids early. That's the thing. We're dealing with. Let me use this analogy. If you remember when we were coming up, since we're both wrestling fans, you remember the Monday Night Wars.
Mm-hmm. British Sound Pro Wrestling History.
All right, that's right. WCW started to try to pivot to target a much more mature audience,
Mm-hmm.
the older generation. It's kind of like how Sega was like Sega and Nintendo at that time. No, Sega and Nintendo before that. Sega was with the Genesis was trying to appeal to an older demographic. Same thing with WCW. And these guys like the FDs figure, you know what? They got the teenagers now, yes, but we got to go for the prepubescent kids.
Yeah.
No pedo here. We got to go for the. We got to get them while they're
There's no,
young,
there's
while we
no
can still shape their minds.
people. That's how you know when people. That's how you know when people try to come after some shit.
Hmm. They want to get
And
the indoctrination in early. So the FDs and everything they're doing is trying to like indoctrinate these kids at a younger age, trying to get them when they're very young, impressionable, when they're still innocent. That doesn't necessarily make it harder for us, but they forget what they don't consider is the fact that not every child is the same. Every boy may grow up to realize, was I being lied to by the FD signifiers in this world? Because I looked at what's the reality on the ground. It's not exactly what they're saying. But do they have the courage to question those things and eventually come seek us?
yeah, they're
So
gonna come.
we gotta know how to counteract those guys as well.
You gotta understand something.
Hmm.
Men are gonna recognize men regardless of what the fucking situation is.
Hey, real recognize real, game recognize game.
Because what's gonna happen is the Negro is gonna be in a spot where, yo, you gotta come and you're gonna have to bring yourself up to a masculine principle. Notice I could talk to you about some shit in war, and we could sit in a goddamn Eritrean coffee shop, could we?
We could, and we'd probably be having a lot of laughs about it. We'd be talking about hell. We could probably have conversations about this stuff over at my parents' house, for that matter.
Yeah, you got the
I'm
back.
sure, like, huh?
I don't want to play.
What was that?
Hold on,
Okay.
keep talking.
Like I said, we could probably have this conversation
Either that or
at
maybe.
a
Yeah, but
we'd have this conversation. We'd probably have this conversation. Now, you know what? Fight night would be better. Fight night would be better.
But you
You
gotta
know?
understand something. It's that when men
Hmm.
go and shit, you gotta
Hmm.
understand something. I was 18. I was 19. My son's
Hmm.
suspended for doing something stupid.
What was that story where? What was that situation you talked about where you had to come to your son's school over a situation and found out like he was in the right? Hang on a second, folks. I think Charles is muted.
Keep keep talking. How be at?
All right. Well, Charles, to your point about responsibility and yeah, that's right, Chris. Get them while they're still ordering the kids' meals because they don't know any better. I would even liken it to, and big shout out to Mr. Z for this. How advertisers started advertising to kids back in the early '80s. When certain cartoons would come out, you had action figures and cereals and stuff like that coming out. All this on a Saturday morning cartoon. So this is what the FD signifiers and guys like that we got to worry about because they want to convince children to believe and they want to sell them this ridiculous belief system and whatnot, which is going to be counterproductive to a child's upbringing. You indoctrinate the young boys in this way, you're going to destroy. You're going to end up with a lot of boys who are going to be growing up confused, hurt, angered, possibly self-destructive, conflicted, and where do you go from there? Hang on, I got to switch the loudspeaker. As I'm saying, where do you go from there? How long would it take a young man who's been indoctrinated in this way from a very young age, possibly as young as preschool? Not necessarily first grade. They could probably be as young as kindergarten, pre-K, or even preschool. We're talking boys who are no more than 2-3 years of age. If they could, indoctrinate them from that point onwards, how long would it take for that to completely kick in? How long would it take for them to be completely enthralled in this type of indoctrination?
But see, that's the part that we talk about, is that it's not about fucking up. It's how badly you fucking up.
The severity of it. Wait, how much of it did you pick up?
I don't really got that much people on this.
All of it.
All right.
Oh my God, I knew you were sending everybody.
But here's the crazy part, is that
do it again.
Is that you got to think about what a lot of people don't understand is that you're only given but so many fuck ups as a black man.
Very few. Very few.
Bro, they doing me bad right now. He monster shit out.
Remember the comedian Tommy Davidson?
Mm-hmm. With his white sister?
His white parents, his white mother had to sit him down and explain to him, your sister is allowed to fuck up like that. And it was a harsh reality. He didn't understand it until she had to understand, son, the world sees you a certain way. They're not going to give you a lot.
My cat understands that.
Mm-hmm.
My cat understands that law. Okay? You can't come to me and say to me, Charles, you don't understand how the world works. I'm old enough to be somebody's grandfather right now. You realize that we're old enough to be young people's grandparents right now,
or at least young people's fathers.
When could you first produce? 13, 14?
13, 14,
So
but you're not completely.
You could probably have a kid. You probably could have a 25-year-old. Hell, I got chicks younger than me who got 25-year-old daughters and their grandparents.
God damn.
So guess what? When it comes to me, well, we're the same age. We're both born in '82, so shit. There's no
5 months apart.
Yeah.
5 months apart, that's nothing.
So we could literally have 25-year-old kids.
Please don't tell me you're going to do this, though.
I'd be glad to be out of my house and fully grown and fully functioning adults. No dysfunction.
So,
Chris, no, it's not. This isn't about, well, To answer your question,
But he's
partially about that, but not the whole story.
Well, if you want to talk about, let me see what Chris says.
Yeah,
He
that
said,
last
"What
one.
about trans?" Well, we want
Not the
people
matter.
to matter about money. They're going to start caring about frivolous things. Well, see, that's the part about the frivolous shit we were talking about. You can't
Mm-hmm.
be frivolous when I tell young men, if you ain't got shit, if you ain't got skills, go to that man's military. Do 3 years, 4 years, grow your hair back. Guess what? Go in the fucking shit, fall. Guess what? You want to smoke weed after you go to the military? You get a medical card. Let's say you stressed out. You get all the discounted weed you want for the rest of your life because you could go because they're gonna give you a card.
Yep.
You're gonna get free medical benefits. You don't know where the fuck you're gonna be 40, 50 years from now. What did Bay tell you because his dad's a vet?
that's tough.
You're gonna be what? Cancer. Stage 4 cancer don't pay for shit. God forbid when the man goes up to the ancestors and to be with his Lord, you don't even pay
Mm-hmm.
for his burial.
How about
Had to get a
how about
21 gun salute.
how about men who are in some ways incapacitated? Men who are dealing with degenerative diseases, both neurological and physiological. I mean, just
Okay.
recently, one actor, I forgot his name, he passed away from ALS.
Which,
Also, you remember Steve McMichael?
mhm.
Oh, hey, bro.
He died just before he was inducted. No, he died just after he was inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame, having been battling ALS, where he was completely incapacitated.
Can't think of what.
He was conscious, aware of where he was like, he was not, he was physically incapacitated, but he was still comprehending everything. He was
Yeah,
still conscious. He just couldn't talk.
think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is some times in your life
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be given everything on a fucking stool, everything on a platter. It's up to you to be smart enough to say no, or I need a little bit more. What my man say? Buster Rhymes, give me some more. Where the split? Hey, split. Where the weed at? Give me some more.
Wait, wait, how was it? Your people had enough? Give me some more. Your people want the wild shit? Give me some more. Hey, Split, where the weed at? Give me some more. I know you
No,
niggas need that. Give me some more. Even though we're getting the money, you can give me some more. Where the cars in the big crib? Give me some more. Everybody spreading love? Give me some more. If you want to let me hear you say, give me some more.
exactly. That's the one vital sin of every black man not understanding what he meant. Black man, get more out of your fucking existence.
Don't settle for less because too many people are willing to walk away with a whole
Oh,
lot of
damn.
money.
That's
What are
my
we
man.
doing?
I know what to do next time.
Because here's the crazy part, right? And by the way, I'm trying to figure out how to get the fucking blur con because Redman gonna be there. If Redman there, I got to smoke with Redman. Sorry, fuck that shit. Uh,
Oh, Dr. Spot? Oh, shit.
I'm, I'm,
Shit.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is one of those things where
Mhm,
this is one of those things. Oh,
mhm.
Bishop.
If
This
he's
is
going running there, he got to.
this is one of those things as a black man in America. You got to understand your value more than what other people see.
Absolutely.
That's tough.
Because God knows and God rising, I want to be great.
You're
And I think
great in so and you still can keep, you can still be great a whole lot more.
Yeah,
Bro.
because if you're not going to believe in your greatness, don't expect anybody else to do it for you.
Nah,
Fuck
bro.
all
I
that.
need that.
Fuck all that.
I need that, big bro.
Because at the end of the
I
day,
need that right back. You got it. Need that right back.
now you just float that bitch. Oh, that should be touchdown. Fuck him. Hmm.
Oh my god, like come on.
He's playing camp. My godson's playing Madden.
Alright, watch this.
This is one of those things where black men got to see the value within themselves. Oh, I love He-Man. I'm an '80s baby, good baby. Oh, trust me, we could change it up too. Don't worry.
Oh,
Hold on for a second. Keep talking, Namer. But let that Panther thing hit though.
Oh, come on. Don't think that we go wrong. Oh, gotta love the funk. Yeah, you must become He-Man. A while ago, I had a conversation with Sandog that was really important. We talked about, like, when brothers come together and everything, and relevant to this, everybody's got to play their position. We all come together, but we all play our position. And I mean, Charles would understand, like, Ray Lewis, as that middle linebacker, he's commanded that defense, but he understands he needs to make sure Ed Reed is in the back. He needs to make sure his cornerbacks on the other side, making sure that the wide receivers are shut down. He needs to make sure that his defensive linemen are closing up those holes or creating the holes for him and the other linebackers, to shut down the quarterback and the running backs. And I can say this for a fact, Charles understands he can't do this alone. If he's He-Man, he needs somebody to be a man-at-arm. And I'd happily be Arco. Always liked Arco, So I understand we have all our roles to play in this. So we have to work as a unit. Everybody knows his assignment, and we all, we have our individual responsibilities, but we work together as a team to come together and build this and achieve a common goal. So you're right, Chris. He has to become He-Man, but He-Man can't do this on his own. He-Man still needs Battle Cat, needs Sorceress, he needs Man-at-Arm, he needs Arco. He needs all the friends he needs, just like T'Challa needed Shuri and the rest of the crew. We all can't be Batman. Batman still needed Robin, still needed Batgirl. Hell, every once in a while, he had to link up with. Yeah, Orko's a boss. Orko is unique in his own way. We can even go further back to like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. You got him, you got Sir Lancelot, but you also have Lady Guinevere, and you also have Merlin. Great leaders surround themselves with great, competent people as well. Just like any military, any general will tell you, I need to have somebody in charge of. Oh, Merlin, that's right. I need to have somebody in charge of artillery. I need somebody in charge of my infantry. They work their things out. I need to have somebody in charge of intelligence, support, logistics, transport, communications. It's a whole operation. So you need to make sure you have the right people who are in your camp. Same thing in MMA, or in boxing, or in kickboxing, any combat sport. In that ring or on that mat, you're by yourself. But outside, it's not just you. It's your coach, your training partners, your sparring partners, guys who are also there at the gym with you. It's your nutritionist, your therapist, even physiotherapist, even sports psychologists you might need to see. It's a whole operation. And everybody has their role to play. Just like with a sports team, like in team sports. You got the coach, the coaching staff. You got
you got your supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to have your supporting cast, man.
Yeah, you gotta have your supporting cast. I mean, unless it's a one-man show, one-woman show. Gotta love that ringtone.
You tell it me. Lil Wayne ain't
Candy.
killed that shit yet. Me and Wayne gonna have to have a talk about that. Me and Lil Wayne, we gonna have to have a serious talk, nigga. He'd probably be smoking weed. I'm definitely gonna be smoking a fucking large caliber or large gauge cigar. Fucking shit gonna be smoking than a Danish fucking chimney.
He still be smoking that.
You and Wayne born in the same birth month. Oh, that's
what?
You and Wayne born in the same birth month, September.
4 weeks apart. 4 weeks apart. I got a brother. No, 4 weeks apart. Because remember, I'm born on the 1st. He was born on the 28th. One of my boys, his birthday is on the 21st. He's 3 weeks. He was born 3 weeks after me.
Will shut the whole corner down.
Mm-hmm. One of my boys, we joke about this because we're 3 weeks apart, our birthday. So we understand, about how close it is because he's like on the birth zero. But September babies, ooh, we kind of feel that. What was I going to say? By the way, here's another example of a great ensemble.
You don't gotta send everybody, bro. It's not that serious.
Yeah. But let me give you an example of people who always have to have this support. Yeah, I mentioned Oracle a while ago because he said become He-Man.
Oracle was a boss. If you read the original stories and the stories in the in the stories in the Netflix series, Orko's a fucking boss.
Orko's a bad.
That's why if I was Netflix, I would get the rights to Thundercats and do the Masters Universe Thundercats crossover.
Oh, how that?
And be like, yo, I will boss up because first of all, Netflix got enough money to do both.
So I don't know how you drop that.
And do it animated.
Hey, what's your take on HBO acquiring Netflix?
Huh?
What's your thoughts about HBO Max being acquired by Netflix?
Even better. Might get a Snyderverse back again. You might get Henry Cavill relaxing and watching. Oh shit! Get your ass up here. You off today, nigga? You off today, nigga?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fumble.
Man, Arco was I was mentioning this earlier. You know, Orko has his own skill set. Even though he was a comic relief character,
Oh, Orko got a lot of people out of some shit. And if you read this, if you know the series,
he came in when it counted. That's his role. Just like how if you remember Police Academy,
people
Larville
forget.
Jones.
What's the one who did the sound effects?
Yeah, that's Larville Jones, Michael Winslow's character.
Yeah,
Larville Jones.
yeah. People, he like a bitch.
No,
People forget.
he didn't just do sound effects. He had a background in martial arts. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Justice League Unlimited is on HBO Max now.
Okay. Oh, by the way, my biggest gripe about HBO. My biggest gripe about HBO
Where
is
did he come
this:
from?
it's really a lot.
Which the reason why the reason why Justice League Unlimited was so good, Dwayne McDuffie. He passed on the same day as my dad's birthday, the 21st of November.
Cyborg. They got to bring back Cyborg, honestly, because you know Cyborg is an important part of the Justice League.
Cyborg was one of the most important characters in comics, period.
Hey, bro, no way.
Because not only is he super smart, he was an athlete. He was a black dude who had, and notice, he's one of the few black characters. It's always about him, not him and his mom, the great Dwayne McDuffie, hallowed be his name.
His father.
There was always a thing about him and his father. Why do you think Ray Fisher was pissed about the theatrical release of Justice League? Oh! And then you gotta think about it. When you saw the shit about a father sacrifice in that movie, he had one of the biggest character arcs in the fucking Snyder cut. That's how. Where's Sad Dog? I'm calling you out, Captain Jack. Oh, worry, you get the score back.
He's working on it because Sunday they start work. Plus it's Ramadan.
Ramadan.
It's Ramadan. Also Lent. It's also Lent for everybody.
Let's get all Orthodox the Abrahamic religions together. Y'all know folk cool with everybody in the Abrahamic religions.
Yeah.
No.
But
have you noticed I'm one of the few spaces in this place where I touch so many goddamn people from different religions and different areas.
Different customs.
I damn near cried when I realized so many people of so many religious backgrounds in the diaspora fucks with your boy. That made me feel something.
Just like I got respect for a lot of cats of other religions because hey, you remember how I met Sandog and everybody. First time I met Sandog and everybody was in the Coliseum. Him, Zach, and a couple of guys, and some of them were Muslim, and they were like, "Doc, how do you know about Islam and everything?" Nema, I was like,
"Yikes!
This is where I come from, and my ancestors have an important part in Islamic history."
Because not only were you protected by them, you protected them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Not just that. One of the Prophet's companions, Bilal ibn Rabah, a slave, was from Aksum.
Remember, it's going to be a black man that takes all the Muslims to heaven, that actually guides people to heaven.
He's the one who he was called Sayyid Muazzam, which means the master caller, because a Muazzam is the guy who had to perform the call to prayer or the adhan.
Bilal.
To do it. Bilal did it.
That's why anybody who's a true Muslim and you racist, you don't respect your religion. That's why it was so easy for me to call out people I said, if you don't like my skin, then obviously you don't like Bilal. When you know you're not getting to heaven without him.
Hmm.
You know what they did? They took off their kufis and they cried.
Yeah, he ready.
Why do you think they cried, Namer?
Because you spoke truth to power. You told the truth.
How are you gonna hate me for my skin, but you love Bilal? You can't do that.
You can't do that. Just like I would tell them, hey, you look at you when you think of Bilal, you better look at me. You better look at some of the us Christians here because that's where he comes from. He is of us. Yeah, he's part of the Ummah, yeah, but he's still one of us. Hell, that they tell the story that after he passed away, he was buried in Damascus. His family, after his death, decided to return home, and they returned back to the land of their ancestors.
Playing so weird.
You can't.
Having those conversations about religion, respecting each other's views and whatnot, that just means everything.
Right.
You can't look at. That's why it's funny because I'm a history major.
Mhm.
So many of
You're talking
people.
about
That's why I'm so welcomed in so many circles because they're like, "Oh, brother, you know our history." I said, "How you hate me, but you love your religion? Your religion would be nothing without my people.
you in Iraq, man. Iraq was the
Your
set was
people, your people,
Europe.
people want to be racist. How can you be racist and say you? How can you love Bilal but hate me?
Come on.
You know who I am. When you look at
You
me,
know,
you look at my skin color. You looking at the color of God.
original man was black.
That's why when all those dudes talking all that shit on that thing, how are you gonna hate me but you hate God? You love God but you hate my skin. That's impossible.
I met. I remember back in Trail, one of my good friends. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I still try to keep in contact as best I can. He's Muslim. He grew up in KSA. He grew up on the other side. He grew up in Jeddah. I grew up in Khobar. And he's like the, and he was always shocked about me because some of the things I understand. But he always respected me for where I am because he knew, yeah, name is Christian, but he understands the faith. He understands the deen. He's always been a good brother that way, respectful.
Hmm.
I mean, how many people? I mean, just before, the day before Ramadan, I always send e-cards to everybody. Just like every holiday, I always send e-cards to everybody. Let them know I still think about them, and it means a lot to a lot of people. And I remember one time he looked at me and said, "Dude, you already are Muslim. You don't need to convert. You are us already. You're one of ours, and we're all Eritreans. We're all in this together. Remember that." And the fact that I would talk about, and the fact that I'm well versed in some of the stuff, and have conversations with people, you're like, all right, you're right, man. Respect that, respect. But there are times where I will disagree with certain people, and come from an honest place about that. And it's not disrespect when we disagree, but we have to be able to disagree with each other respectfully. So I can understand certain people being a certain way. I'm like, I understand that, but I don't agree with it. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Well, at least they got handles.
Oh yeah, also put locks on it, so in case when you pick it up, it doesn't fall out.
I mean, they got handles like 2000 AI. Nobody had handles like AI. You had to change the game for AI.
Yeah.
Boy, that
Yeah.
motherfucker was crossing up everybody. When you crossing up Jordan, that says a lot.
Oh, but come on, man. He was so cold with it. Everybody was grabbing Reeboks.
Everybody got victimized.
Damn, bro, I can't
Everybody.
do the ball, bro.
Everybody showed up the next day wearing that athletic boot, because the ankles got broken.
What is the block stand?
Yo. Hey Charles, here's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Considering AB started his stream a while ago, how about if we just carry this conversation over there, and we can come back here like for a part 2 or something like that?
I might.
What do you
I might. Who wants to do a part 2 tonight?
out of respect to the brothers, because we all got to show our support to everyone another. And this
All right.
conversation about everything in the Coliseum really needs to be talked about.
All right. I'll go over to AB's and then we go back, come up here. I ain't got shit to do tonight.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all later.
I'll see y'all later. One.